clear plan. And I also know if I'm not able to be out of it, that AA and Narcotics Anonymous do have some programs where they come into prison.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
that's my plan.
Well, that's good that you have a plan. What do you think the reason is that you slipped into the addiction back in a week? Like, what is it just the stresses of the job that you were facing?
Yeah,
or dealing with your personal life as well? And
just always feeling like I had to be the best possible person, and very, very stressful job, giving medications to 32 people, making sure treatments were done on 32 people,
right.
charting for 32 people, supervising 4 PSWs who sometimes didn't always get along, and sometimes didn't always get along with me.
Yeah.
It's a hard job. Any nurse will say it's a hard job.
I believe it 100%.
And then they would add different things like, oh, you have to do this and that to say who's here, and counting the medications at the end of the shift, and it was a hard job. And I always was putting this pressure on myself to be a really good nurse and to do everything perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, when I could get a hold of a hydromark or two and take it, then that pressure was gone.
Right. Right. And the treatment center that you went away to, where was that?
I cannot remember. I've tried to remember.
Yeah. Was it local or?
No, it was out of town. It was like a good 2-hour drive.
Okay.
You know where the locks are?
Yeah.
Near Niagara.
Welland?
Welland?
Yeah.
It's a little town outside of Welland.
Okay.
And they have it's an 18-day treatment that they have, and I was successful. I went through the whole thing.
Nice. So all 18 days?
Yeah.
Okay. And it helped?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about family? You're born and raised Woodstock?
Yeah, born and raised in Woodstock, married from 97 to 2007.
Okay.
We broke up February 2007. No children. I wanted them, he never did.
Okay.
My mom and dad are in their 70s, 75 and 76. I have cousins all over the area.
Yeah.
And my brother and his wife and 4 kids, they live in,
okay.
and they're quite active. The oldest one is 26, and he's got a wife and 2 kids. He lives with his parents. They all live with the parents, except for my...
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, just one big house of crazy.
Happy family, huh? Have you been out to visit at all, been out east, or?
I've been to see their house once.
Yeah.
They've been here a few times.
Nice.
They came in 2013 for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary.
Nice.
And my nephew and his wife stayed behind and lived with my parents for a few months while my nephew tried to go to Bible college. Okay. But he wasn't successful, so they went back.
Yeah. So your brother older or younger than you?
Older.
Older.
He's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
He's 52.
Right on. Good. So as far as your latest position at St. Elizabeth,
yeah.
That was your last position as a RN, is that
yes,
correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said you resigned from there?
Yeah.
Okay. What brought you to that?
That's where things get a little crazy.
Okay.
This is part that I haven't told the doctors.
Okay.
Because it seems so stupid now. Okay. When my ex and I broke up in 2007, I was already taking the medication for my borderline personality disorder. And I was so angry. And it was like a voice said inside me, I'll use you, don't worry about it. And the different times that I have caused people's deaths or caused them discomfort through the insulin, I believe it was the influence of that voice or whatever it was. It wasn't a voice in my head, it was a voice in here. And when I would do it, afterwards I would hear like a laughter in my chest. So, started working for St. Elizabeth, and I was doing well, but it was a lot of pressure. And the way that, that I've helped people to die have been through insulin. And after my 30-day evaluation, my supervisor came to me and said, I'm really sorry. We wanted you for Woodstock, but we have so many kids in schools in Ingersoll that need help with their insulin pumps that you're going to start working in Ingersoll. Okay. And I panicked. I didn't want to do that. Because I felt, what if? Those are kids. So it was about a week after that I quit. Yeah. And then I packed my stuff in the car and I drove 2 days into Quebec, thinking like I would just sort of run away sort of thing. And then I thought, no, that's just stupid. So I came back, and I was going to tell my parents what was going on, but they had visitors from Scotland, so I didn't tell them. I just, spent 2 weeks pretending to go to work.
Okay.
While the visitors from Scotland were here.
Right.
It's funny, but it's not funny. And then, once they left, I decided I didn't want to nurse anymore. I didn't want to hurt anybody anymore, so I also quit my other job. And then I decided, whatever Friday that was, that, like, I did a lot of looking into how I could get help, because I realized I needed help with whatever this was.
Right.
Because part of me had started to believe that it was the devil, and part of me thought it might be God with a purpose through my life. And I know the doctor asked me those questions, but I didn't answer them because I was so ashamed. But I just, I didn't want this to keep going on, so I quit both jobs. Looked into where I could get help. Dr. Fernando is my psychiatrist, and he's not a very nice man. So I went on an online support group and was talking to people on there, and they were saying, get some help. So then I started researching some psych wards and stuff, and I saw CAMH, and they are the only mental health facility in Ontario that has an emergency department.
Okay.
So I made a decision, and I went there one Friday morning. I took the train, and off I went. And before I went, I told 3 people what was going on. My friend from AA, and my friend, I told them what was going on. They said, yes, go and get help. And my friend drove me to the train station.
And when you say you told them what was going on, did you get into details of why you were going to seek help? Or?
I told them that I had been killing people using an instant overdose. And they all said, yes, you better go get help. So off I went.
Okay. And
she's a friend from when I used to work at...
Okay. All right. His last name? Okay. And she drove you to the train station on the Friday morning?
Yeah.
To the Woodstock train station?
Yep.
Okay. And then your other friend?
Is my cousin.
Okay. And she's a cousin of yours?
Yeah, she lives in BC.
Okay. And if you don't want to tell me, that's fine, based on the reason why this person may or may not be a friend, but your AA friend.
My AA friend, yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you her first name, but otherwise it's confidentiality.
And I don't want to dig into that at this point. That's not a problem at all. So did you disclose the same thing to all those 3 people? That
I had been giving insulin overdoses. I didn't say why, because at that point I felt so stupid. It just felt so stupid.
And Beth, to be honest with you, I admire the way that you're conducting yourself and telling us and having this conversation with me. I thank you for that. And I'm not here to judge in any way.
I know.
So I want you to know that. And I'm not a doctor. I know you spent a lot of time at CAMH the last 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm far from a doctor, but I do appreciate you telling me the truth and telling me the way that these things happened and played out.
Yeah.
And I admire you for that.
And it's, it's been a while because I've been stewing about, like, do I give the names of the people that I killed?
Right.
Because then here's 8 families that thought that their family member died peacefully and normally, and they didn't. And what's that going to do to those families?
Right.
And even up to going to the hospital, I decided I was just going to give the first names. And my cousin said, listen, they know what years you worked there. If you don't tell them the exact names, they're going to go in there and go over every single file. And that's going to be even worse for the families there.
Right.
So that she was the one to give me that advice, to give the names.
Okay. And as far as you know, have these people reached out to any of the police agencies where they may reside to notify that you told them this? Or
no.
Did you tell them in kind of confidence?
I told them in confidence, and they said they promised me they wouldn't tell anyone.
Okay.
But basically the impliance was if I didn't get help, then they'd be on the phone the next day.
Okay, I got you. So did you tell them basically then on
Thursday? I told them the night before I went.
Okay, so Thursday night?
Yeah.
And then you took off Friday morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's basically what they said was, if you haven't gotten help Friday, then we're calling the police. We love you, but we're calling the police.
Right. Well, they just probably felt that they had an obligation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a moral obligation or... however they saw it, right?
Yeah.
What medications are you on right now?
I'm taking, fluvoxamine, it's called Luvox, 200 milligrams. It's, anti-obsessional and an antidepressant.
Okay.
I'm taking 300 milligrams of Seroquel, which is, an antipsychotic. And they upped that when I was at KNH,
Okay.
which has really helped clear my thinking.
Has it? Good.
And then I'm taking a couple of blood pressure medications, and then I've got some loxapine for when I get really agitated.
Okay. And when we left the hospital, you had taken, I believe, some Ativan, is that right?
I took 2 milligrams of Ativan when we left the hospital,
Right.
which was, you guys noted at the time, 130
Yeah.
or something like
That's about
that.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I've had nothing since.
Okay. And I know that the Dr. Khan provided with a prescription that...
Yeah, and he also gave me 2 loxapines.
Yeah.
And was very strict. I am not to take them till all the interviews are over, because they will start to interfere with my thinking,
Okay.
and then let me see the interview.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel that you have a clear, sound mind right now?
Yes, I do.
Conversing with me in this room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
And everything that you're telling me is the truth and the best that you can remember?
Yes, yeah.
I can appreciate where you're coming from as far as the work that you went through. Obviously, I've never been a nurse, and I've never worked in the profession that you did, but I could imagine how overwhelming it is.
Yes.
Having a lot of responsibility, maybe not having the support of the administration or your supervisors, just kind of go out and get it done, right?
Yeah.
And that could be, I could see how that would be stressful, and I could see how that would drive you maybe into your addiction and into other things. But I want to just go over this document, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay, would you be willing to do that with me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you do your thing.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Absolutely not.
This is pretty, excuse me, major. I've only ever had parking tickets. I've never been arrested for anything.
Well, like I said, you're not under arrest
Oh, I
right now,
know.
but it is a very significant investigation, you're right.
I understand.
And like I said before, Beth, I do appreciate you speaking with us, and I can imagine that, does it feel like a weight off your shoulders?
Yes.
You've been carrying a burden for quite some time.
And I've tried to get help a couple of times.
Well, sometimes it takes a few attempts to finally commit to it, right?
Yeah, I had a pastor that I told me, he prayed over me and told me I'd be fine. And that was God's grace, and then...
When was that?
That was, Halloween 2013. Yeah.
And you kind of divulged to what had happened to you to that point in your life with
Yes.
involving these people?
Yeah.
Okay, and where was that?
That was here in town.
Okay.
Do you want his name?
If you want to tell me, it's up to you.
Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't... Did I just say 2014?
Mm-hmm.
It was 2013.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So before we get into this, I know that there's a statement which we have and that I've watched where you attended the police station in Toronto, at 52 Division, is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
And I honestly, I think it was Detective Hamilton, and I honestly can't remember the other detective's name now. I know it started with an A. And you met with them for, I was going to say about an hour and a half.
That was nuts.
Yeah. And at that point, you had in your possession a photocopy of this document,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
And you went through and you read it out,
Yes.
okay? And then following that, they started with the first name on the list, and they wanted to just try and get a little bit more detail of
Yes.
of the involvement in each circumstance, in
Okay.
each death, right?
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do today, and just get some more detail.
Okay.
Okay? So,
It's a long list.
it is, but I think that you and I think we can get through it together.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. As long as you're patient with me.
I've got all the time in the world. I'm not going anywhere.
Because I'm physically comfortable. It's a nice chair, but...
Yeah.
No.
Anytime you need to get up and wander around, like I said, if you want to take a break and have me leave and just kind of stretch your legs and whatever the case may be, you go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, if you have to use your washroom anytime, just let me know.
All right.
Okay? Because like I said, I'm here as long as we need to be.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm not pressuring you to stay any longer than you want to. But I think that if we just kind of sit down and go through this, like I said, we'll get through it together.
Yes.
I'm a pretty patient person, and I'm here to just listen to what you have to tell me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and like I said, I appreciate it.